Hi guys, Everyday Knife Guy here, and I'm afraid we are out in the woods again filming this, so this is going to be a straight up, straight down knife review. There's not going to be any slicing paper, weighing stuff, measuring stuff, any of that crap. This is just straight up going to be a knife review. We don't even have the box with us to do this, I'm afraid, but we do have a nice blue background, so it's fairly Benchmade appropriate. So this blade you have in front of you is the 484 Nakamura. There's the 484 1 as well, which is the carbon fiber scaled version, significantly more expensive than this one, although this is not cheap in itself. This is the 484 standard version, and this is what they describe as a Gentleman's Tactical folder, and it is priced around about $200, slightly less depending where you find it. It is G10 handled, two G10 handle scales with stainless steel liners, and it has a satin blade, modified drop point they're calling this, of M390. Turn over this side, you can see that marked on the blade there, along with Nakamura, the designer's logo or signature if you prefer. If we can get some focus here. No, we're not going to get any focus today apparently, I don't know why. Let's open it up and just sit it there for a second. What do you think of that? I think that is absolutely gorgeous. I just think the form of this knife, ever since I first saw one of these, I just thought the form of this is absolutely beautiful. I've got an in detail video coming on this soon just to show it off a little bit better and show the lines and curves and all the details of it. I think it's an incredible looking blade. That's this version. The carbon fiber is just out of this world, but that's a little bit out of my price range as well. It's quite expensive for what it is. It's a small knife. It's just it's, what, 3.08 inches, shade over 3 inches in the blade. A little over 4 inches close, I think. And yeah, it's M390 is super steel, of course, but it is a small EDC or dressy EDC folder. I don't know about the tactical aspect, but it is a beautiful, beautiful knife. You notice I'm getting all the good stuff out of the way here because this is not a typical knife review for me where I start gushing about it and saying how awesome it is and how it'll never leave my collection. This one's actually up for trade already. I've only had it maybe a couple of weeks at this point. I love it to look at, but I just don't love it to use. There's a few reasons for that. The Benchmade access lock, of course, is not a lock I dislike. I have a mini grip Tillion. I've had a couple of mini grip Tillions and a couple of other Benchmades over time, and it's not a lock I dislike. I quite like it, but it's a little bit close to assisted for me to be one that I truly love. The way that if you release an access lock, it's kind of hard to shake the blade closed. It will tend to, if you're releasing the lock, it will tend to actually open itself up again using its own spring. It's obviously super smooth to deploy because it's, you know, it does have that kind of free-falling aspect to it. Deployment on this is lovely, thumb studs only, but super fast, super smooth, of course, as you would expect from a knife of this kind of price. So no qualms there. The lock I'm not hugely in love with. That's one thing. The second thing, and visually I think the handle on this looks incredible. Lovely contoured machine G10. If I turn this over a little bit, you can see a little bit better there. Lovely little grooves. Now the grooves from that angle don't look very deep, but trust me, when you have this in hand, you really do feel these bevels, and you see on the edges of the high parts there, it's quite a hard edge going into each kind of depression, and that looks great. Gives great contrast to the handle. I think it looks awesome, but you really do feel it. And the problem with feeling it is on a handle of that size, you can see it's really not filling my hand. And as I start to close my hand up there, you might notice that those grooves are not really anywhere near where I need them to be. If you see where my middle finger is falling, this point here is kind of hitting 2/3 across the finger. By the time I get to my ring finger down here, you can see the high point in the scale is hitting right in the middle of my finger, Same with my pinky finger. So if I really grip hard on this knife and use the really nice thumb ramp that's at the back of the thumb stud here, that is awesome. That's the only jimping I think, but really nice thumb ramp. But if I clasp hard on that handle, all I'm feeling are those points 1, 2, and 3 digging into my hand. I'm just not getting a comfortable grip on it at all. So for lightweight package opening, letter opening, that kind of stuff, not really a big deal, but I really have to crush my hand up like that in order to fit with the shape of the handle. And that's always kind of an issue with such a sculpted handle such as that. If you have a smaller hand, I mean my hands I'd say are only medium size for gents' hands, but if you are female or you have smaller men's hands and these grooves happen to fit perfectly with your fingers, then this is going to feel incredible in hand. I think it's going to be a really nice kind of swell on the spine of it there, locking in with those 1, 2, 3, 4 finger grooves, and that thumb ramp, that's going to give you a really ergonomic hold. But for me, it's just not comfortable to use, I'm afraid. So that's the main knock for me. Over on the other side, back to the positives. This came to me very lightly used. This isn't actually the stock pocket clip that comes on these. It's normally that split arrow, or the clip that in some circles the knife world is affectionately known as the penis clip, Benchmade penis clip. That's what comes on it. This one I think is much more attractive. There's a beautiful deep carry clip. You can see there the Benchmade butterfly inscribed there, and that's just a gorgeous clip, super deep carry as you can see, extending above the handle there, and it is reversible, but it is tip up carry only, but it is reversible for left or right, so as long as you don't mind tip up, and most people don't, then you're in luck. So also other little differences, again I think on the 484 standard G10 model, I think normally you get these silver pivot collars here. On the more expensive carbon fiber version you get these beautiful blue ones. This one has one of each for some reason, I'm not really sure why, but look at the beautiful anodized collar here. If I can pick this up without cutting myself, and see if I can get this to focus for you. I don't know if it will, but that color is gorgeous. That really just pops there with the black G10 and the silver access lock studs there. So very pretty blade. So a little look at the liners here. You can see it's quite a not chunky knife, but it's certainly reasonably thick. It's not super slim line for being a more of a kind of a dressy knife. And if you look at the back here, you can see 1, 2, 3 standoffs, and then you have your stop pin there, or sorry, your access lock pin there. No lanyard hole on this. Thumb ramp there with a little bit of jimping, and that is very nice. Feels great under your thumb. Get it on the back of the blade there. Lovely sharp this one, but as I say, it is it's not, but didn't come to me brand new, so I can't really comment on the factory edge. And let's close the blade up. I will look at it closed. Very nice profile there again, and you can see blade centering on this one. A little off to one side, not terrible. Don't actually really notice that too much until you get down to the tip there, because as you can see further up, the blade stock actually pretty much fills the gap between the stainless steel liners. You do notice it a little bit down at the tip, but not a big deal, not off by a huge amount. So I think that's pretty much all there is to say about it at the moment, guys. I didn't mention the weight, 3.5 ounces. Talked about the steel. Overall length I think is around 7. As I say, about 4 closed, and just a 3-inch blade, so not a big knife by any means. Very nice to look at. I'm not convinced on it as a user blade, and for that reason it's not going to stay in my collection, but it may be something you fancy trying. It's certainly not going to be my last Benchmade. It's not really an issue with the lock so much as the ergonomics on this one that's going to cause it to leave my collection. Sorry guys, camera overheated on my phone apparently, but yeah, that was me just wrapping it up. Beautiful, high quality knife. Definitely not something I would recommend against. Give it a try, see what you think. That, guys, is the Benchmade 44 Nakamura. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more knife reviews and other videos for you soon. Cheers.